Hi, hello. Welcome. Thank you for coming. Thank you for your punctuality. Hi, hello. We're going to start now. Welcome everyone to our 18th AVC subcommittee meeting. I see already members, AVC members, and ADs. Hello, Marianne, to name, Jack, Anon Builder, Clocky, Paul, Blue. So we're going to start. This is going to be focused on 106, that is support scope. As always, if this is your first meeting, welcome and thank you for coming. Please note that this call is being recorded. Actually, it's been broadcasting, so you can find this and our previous calls in our Sitlatam's channel, and this and every information related to sovereign finance AVC, you can find it in our Notion. And if you already know about us, thank you for being here. Thank you for coming again. If you appreciate our work and value, and please become an AD of sovereign finance AVC. Okay, before starting, I would like to point out that this 18 AVC subcommittee meeting has been organized and prepared by the two members of Sovereign Finance AVC that are Sid Latam and OX Root that I see that are here. Shout out to them. Now, let's get started. I'm trying to look in the chat. Hey, Marianne. Hi. Hi, everyone. Okay, let's start. So these are the topics that we're going to cover today. And to begin with, we want to say thanks, a big shout out to our ADs, to Blue, Clocky, to Palk. We sincerely appreciate your hard work, and we have carefully considered the most pertinent points from your comments on your public docs, which we think that it's like the most relevant according to the situations from these past weeks. Um, and that's why we're covering this. So the first one, and just to point that out, that we're going to focus on the support scope, just like a very brief summary, that its scope covers rules that regulate different tasks of ecosystem support. This includes governance process, infrastructure, and management. Also, sub-DAO and ecosystem actor support, and of course, public good purpose system. Okay, so we're going to begin with Blue's research proposal. And this is, we're going to go further into detail in a little bit, but basically this is a peer-to-peer recruitment model. And Blue included in the public documents also research about this. So yeah, big shout out to them. We have also from Clocky's comments, we're going to point out the Genesis templates for FacilitatorDAOs, for AllocationDAOs, and MiniDAOs. Then we have more about talks with the template for milestones and transparency reporting, which is one of the most important when it comes to transparency that we all want to improve in it. And if you got the time, we're also going to mention the latest news in the forum that are regarding this scope. So let's begin. So before, let me go to chat. Hi, Levateller. I'm sorry, I'm trying to pronounce your name. I'm going to call you LB. Is that okay? And we are going to start. Okay. I'm going to provide you the link to Blue's document because I encourage everyone to take a look at this video. If you haven't, we also share it in the previous call. Yes, Nix is attending. Hello, Nix. Okay. Why do we decided to start with this one? Well, just to point out that this was from Blue's comments from last week. Yes, but we believe that this is not just for a specific scope, it's more like general. And this is the reason why he points out in the document, it seems we still have not found a governance advisory council members. We need a new approach. This research and proposal might still be relevant. And yes, we have been already having several meetings within months that we are working on, and we have seen progress in a lot of aspects. But yes, this is an issue that we don't see that more people are paying attention to, that it's the fact that there is no candidates for this position, that it's we don't have candidates for the advisory council. So we are addressing this, and a solution that Blue is proposing, it's this peer-to-peer recruitment model. So this is something that as sovereign finance AVC is one of our objectives, like to address this issue, not just in this particular position, but in general. This is just one of them that we address that is relevant to focus on. So this is the first one. Okay, and here you are going to see quotes from the document that it's basically what is this peer-to-peer recruitment model? Well, this model seeks to decentralize headhunting in the recruitment process and aims to incentivize professionals to maintain broader networks, to promote inter-industry collaboration, to diversify hiring pools, um, and also outlines like something very specific that we're going to point out that are the finder terms, and how this is going to be help actually is going to help to incentivize like more people to recommend all candidates. So yes, the peer-to-peer recruitment model challenges this status quo. It proposes that every professional within an industry can potentially be a headhunter. Okay. Okay, let me see if there's else. No. Okay. How would this work? Well, basically, it's like a step by step process, and there is also a mirror document with this that it's very graphic. So it has a video. This research has a video, has a model that it's the mirror part, and includes the research. So it's very specific, and each basically each job listing should include problem descriptions, relevant stakeholders, solution details, expected outcomes, of course, the KPIs, um, integration requirements. So to be the most specific as we can, to find, of course, the most suitable candidate. And of course, this model includes the finder's fee. I'm going to talk about a little bit further and detail about this. Any professional is welcome to suggest, to recommend a candidate that they know, or from their network for this position. Now, this is the interesting part. So, if you suggest a candidate and the candidate gets selected and completes the work successfully, you will receive a finder's fee. There is an example also that is mentioning in the research that we're going to mention in here. Now, something that is point out in the research, it's about the challenges that this model have. They point these specific challenges, but if we focus on, probably there will be more, and that's why confidentiality and favoritism or recommendations based on personal relationships rather than suitable for the job. So this is something that we are focusing on that might happen, that could be an issue. So what solution we could find about this? And then there is this quote also in the research that basically say that these specific challenges can be overcome, and that with the proper system and safeguards in position, this peer-to-peer recruitment model could be very well the future of headhunting, and that the finder fees in the recruitment industry, we'll see, but it's a good initiative. Okay, I mentioned about the KPIs. See comments. Oh, thank you, Marianne. So yeah, that's the mirror as well that I recommend you to have it there. Yes. Okay. So the KPIs. There is like a list of the specific categories that we have to measure the quality of the candidates, about the efficiency of the process, the diversity of candidates. So there are very in detail questions for each specific category. So of course, the quality of the candidates can be measured through personnel reviews, productive metrics, retention rates, and of course, more ideas are welcome in here. And then we have the efficiency of the process, how quickly job roles are being filled compared to traditional recruitment models. And if this model speeds up the hiring process, of course, it will be considered a success. That's the goal. But how can we made it like to speed up the hiring process, right? And then we have the advisory of candidates, and in here you have questions whether this P2P model is drawing from a broader talent pool, and this part measures whether there is a wider range of backgrounds, experiences, and perspective among the candidates that are being suggested, that are being recommended. Then we have the recommender success, whether some recommenders consistently suggest high quality candidates. Recognizing and rewarding these recommenders can incentivize others to participate actively in the model. Something else that Blue mentioned that would help us with this is to invite an OG from the DAO and to comment us, to tell us how is the process of recruitment and what could be improved and what it is needed. So anyone that you have in mind that would be perfect for us to help us in this, please let us know so we can contact them and invite them to one of our calls. Then we have the satisfaction of stakeholders. This includes, of course, managers, new hires, recommenders. Regular service can provide feedback and suggestions for process improvement. And then we have the cost effectiveness that compares the cost per hire in this model compared to traditional recruitment methods. And of course, if this if this method is can reduce hiring process, but this is interesting, while maintaining or even better improving the quality of the candidate, then that's a success. That's what we should look for too. So yes, that we have the cost effectiveness. If you consider that there is something else that should be included into to take into account into KPIs, also feedback is it's very welcome. Oh, okay. So when public to put into context into all the people that just recent it's here, this is a proposal from Blue, and you have there the links to know more about this research. You have the mirror, and it's actually very interesting. What's the problem in here that we're focusing on? It's the fact that there are no advisory council members yet, and it's been months already, so we are focusing on that issues, like how can we attract new candidates. So that's okay, so that's why we're putting here. So this is the kind of like a like a proposal, and we are asking for feedback, so that's why we put in here. Scalability, whether this model can effectively scale as the company grows and hiring needs increase. Of course, this we're looking for that this model could be more scalable, right? This is, of course, this is relevant. This is crucial for the long-term viability of the model. And then we have the compliance and the fairness, which is the recruitment process adheres to all relevant labor laws and regulations. The candidates are evaluated fairly without bias or discrimination. Now, how can we do this the most fair way? So that's also what we're putting on. Okay, now this is about the finder's fee and how this works. Okay, so the finder's fee terms, the what it says on the research, it's that it's a structured approach for compensating people who recommend other candidates. So there are two main points that it's mentioned on the research, that it's the low complexity task. That will be this one. And this is just an example, so you can you all can understand. Of course, it could be modified or even about what you guys think. We want feedback about this finder's fee, but we're explaining from the research. So it's we have the low complexity task, and this is up to 10,000, and then the high complexity task, which will be this one, and is to let's say 50,000. Okay, so there are tiers in here because this is the structured. So to kind of like standardize this approach between the low and the high complexity task, this is the system that they have provide us with the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, this kind of like categories. So it decreases, as you can see, the finder's fee. So let's make an example. So you recommend a candidate, and this is from the tier 1. So you receive a 10% finder fee. But if this is involved in tier 2, an 8%. Tier 3, that is our tax from 50,001 to 10 to 100,000, will be 6%. So as you can see here, it decreases the finder's fee percentage as the task value increases. So first of all, we would like to know more about this one. But we're also want to know like feedbacks in this before kind of like putting into us for facilitators. So that's what we're putting in here. Something else that there is mentioned in the research is about the cap. So there are two types of caps mentioned. So this is the per task cap and the program cap. So the per task cap, so this caps the finder's fee for a single task, ensuring that it doesn't become too burdensome for the company. And then you have the program cap. This caps the total finder's fee paid out as a percentage of the overall scope budget. And there are examples. So in the per task cap, the cap could be set at to 50,000. And then for the program cap, if the budget is 5 million, finder fees might be capped at 10% of that budget. So that will be $500. So that is what is said, how it would work, but this is just like an example. Blue is also here. Shout out to Blue. You have more relevant information that I haven't pointed out in here. This is the moment. So this is the first that we have started with this idea of the peer-to-peer recruitment model. Now let's see. I see that there are also questions there, so please Yes, that's the perfect way to understand more how this model works. And Blue is here, so he could provide us with answer, also with feedback from everyone in here. Task, can you define task? Well, let's go back to on the as far as I understand, depending on what the candidate is going to do, depending on the role, is going to be different tasks, and of course, according to that's why there are different amount of quantity of money here. Uh, Also, there's need more specification in here that maybe Blue can provide us. So yes, every question I think is going to help us understand more and how this would work. Remember that it's just kind of like an idea. Remember that the problem is that there are not advisory council members yet, and it's been so long. So what can we do about it? Oh, perfect. So there is. Please, I encourage all of you to ask your questions and we'll be answering. Okay. Now let's move on to Clocky. Again, shout out to Clocky for providing us with his public document. I'm going to put it just in case in here. Okay, so let's start with there are certain points from Clocky's public document that we want to mention. The first one it's about the purpose system and the purpose fund. So there is like a problem that is happening here that Clocky point out about this specific scope, and is the fact that um, the atlas describes setting up an advisory group to manage this amount of MKR fund for. It says that for open source AI projects that help the public. Now, uh, when choosing these group members, what qualities matter and how can we protect against fund misuse? Um, at least 10% of the fund goes to other good projects. What should they focus on and who decides? So this is the question that it's kind of like Clocky asks. So that's why we are putting into this. Now it says that about the 10% as well. There are no a specific or not more detail about this. That's why we address it. So which areas should this portion focus on? And who should decide on the areas and allocation? Um, so the amount that it says on the scope is 33,333, and this goes to for public purpose fund. That's what it says in the scope. Now here we have kind of like provide um the features, the qualities that the people in charge with this should have. This is also to discuss. Maybe there needs some more features that we need to add. So let us know. But basically, expertise, of course, in open source AI development, since this is from this scope. And as you can, everyone can notice that the atlas is very focused on it. Experience in charitable fund allocation or governance. This scope also mentions charity. And then proven track record of ethical decision making. Of course, emphasizes on integrity. Transparency, something that Ron has mentioned several times, is that he wants to improve transparency. Community involvement, of course. Need for diverse, knowledgeable advisory members. Importance of regular oversight and evaluation, including clear allocation criteria with regular audits. Of course, as I mentioned, probably there is more that is needed, but so far we have focused that these are the most relevant people in charge should have. Okay, this is one thing about mentioning about the purpose fund and the purpose system. Now, about this is another issue in this scope. Um, that is the purpose fund, right? So, what is exactly say on the atlas? The atlas says that the purpose fund will directly allocate this amount of MQR from the positive proxy MQR reserve towards charity and public good campaigns that promote responsible open source AI development and public good impact of open AI software. So now this specific component brings us a question that we would like to know more about what is the IDs, our IDs insights and ecosystem actors in general. So should the charity be mandated to post their details adhering to a specific template? And of course, what we want with this is to keep a track on their detail. But we want to know if the ecosystem actors think that this is necessary for transparency or not really. So here you can provide as well insights about this specific issue. I was looking at the chat. I see that a lot of people are asking about it, which is good. And Blue is answering. Also, more people are there. So that's the spirit. Okay. Now let's focus on a second topic that Clocky mentioned during these talks is about the component 6.1. It's about Genesis templates for facilitator DAOs, allocator DAOs, and MiniDAOs. There is no information about these. So we need more clarity. We need actually what's going to happen with this, and there is no template. So we have this, and we're quoting Clocky's comment. It says, "Who will take on the responsibility of filling in this information? It is important to clarify the process that will be followed." We totally agree with this. That's why we have um provide these templates for regarding the Genesis templates for facilitator, allocator, and mini DAOs. So these templates, as you can see, it includes fields for specifying name, creation timestamp, motivation, mandate, mission, description of the sub-DAO or of the mini DAO, facilitator DAO, allocator DAO, and this is a structured format for organizing information about all of these, about facilitator DAOs, allocator DAOs, and mini DAOs within the system. This that we have more in here, this template, we're going to share it, and we're going to ask for your feedback. What would you add in this part? Or maybe what you find that it's not necessary and that we should not put it into the template. Also very welcome. Again, we want to point out that there's not much information about 6.1, about component 6.1. And something else, and we're going to move on, component 7.1, which is the incubation objectives for ecosystem actors. So this mentions a challenge in determining prioritized objectives for new incubation. So that's why in section 7.1 that presents the it's kind of like hard to prioritize new incubations. Nevertheless, in section 7.4.2, it's mentioned that the list of incubating ecosystem actors and their data is an active element, that it's 7.4.2.1a. with support facilitators that are responsible for updates. There is a solution for this. This is the current situation. So what Clock is proposing with this, to revise active element 7.4.2.1a, add a column to capture incubation objectives each incubating ecosystem actor contributes to. Allocate responsibility, that should be the support facilitator, the facilitator from this scope. This is something that we believe that it's necessary to point out between this scope. So anything else that want to add? Clocky, please, you can add something else if there is relevant information that you believe that it's missing to hear this as well. To Pal's comments, I'm opening the link. Okay. This is a very interesting from what we have seen from past few weeks on the community. Something that Paul points out in his comment, and it's quoting here, it says, all funding of projects from resources provided by the Maker protocol through the scopes must report the milestone progress and results in a standardized way, eventually incorporating it into the DAO toolkit. All scopes must at minimum enforce the reporting and transparent requirement defined in the support scope artifact. We need transparency. I think there is something that we should keep improving. So that's what in component 5, that it's milestones. Well, this is from the atlas, the part that for the scope 5.1, general guidelines on milestones, results reporting of projects funded by Maker Protocol. And why Paul points out this component. Well, he mentions that no requirements for reporting and transparency have been clearly established. So that's why, according to 5.1 in this scope, well, there should be reporting. So what Falk says that I believe that you could use your expertise in developing the rules for ecosystem actors reporting and transparency. So yes, we agreed that there's should be more transparency into this, focusing on the milestones and results reportings for ecosystem actors. So that's why we have also kind of like have this project identification and team overview. We have the funded project details. I mean, this is a template of how ecosystem actors should have and should present this information, so it can be clear and transparent, and we can read them and we can know what is going on, because that's the lack of information or lack of transparency is what is the big challenge in here. And that according to the scope, it needs to be more transparent, and should be a milestone and transparency reporting. This is a proposal. So this would be name, introductory post, members and roles, a list of the current members actively working on the project. Sometimes there are projects, but we don't know really who are the active members. So this is something that we find it necessary to add it. The milestone reporting, to have the active brief description on ongoing milestones, so it could be as clear as possible to know the achievements. The progress, so concise update on each active milestone, everything to be described in here. Active progress and completed milestone, that means that milestone that have achieved successfully within the reporting period. Um, something that I think we all want to know more about. It's about the budget overview. So it's important not just what are you doing with the budget, but also if there is a remaining budget, also to mention here. That's why we put into the template usage, breakdown on funding, allocation, remaining, report on unspent budget and refund plans. This could be um, something relevant that it could be included, and it's important to know also that the remaining budget and what happened, why it wasn't used, if it's necessary as well. Then in order to have more transparency and verification, we're also adding documentation, relevant supporting documents, validation, evidence of third-party verification, addressing challenges and content issues, highlight significant challenges faced, solutions, strategies adapted to overcome them, seeking support. Support require areas needing further support from MakerDAO or the community. So we're addressing different categories that we find that it's necessary to know more about, uh, that should be included in the report. Okay, so according to this, do you believe that ecosystem actors should face penalties if they don't meet their objectives? This is something that we want to point out and to ask ADs, to ask ecosystem actors. If so, what method of penalty did you suggest? So we have here three that we are like kind of like we have thought about it. So reduce funding in future projects, a formal warning system leading to the recognition, and withholding a portion of allocated budget until objectives are met. So in case that they don't meet their milestone, we have put on that situation, and this would be the penalties. Of course, we need feedback about this in order to, what is your insight on this, or maybe no, and also give us the reason why, your insights on why it shouldn't, uh there shouldn't be penalties. Okay, so this is this part of about milestones and transparency reporting, about the component 5. Okay, now this is one. Again, Paul, if there is something else that you would like to add when it comes to this part, please go ahead. Um, Another topic from Paul's comment, and this has to do as well with, and we have here LB. So I'm going to put the link to LB's comments about the following topic. So I'm going to share with you all. Here. So according to their interpretation, every AVC should follow the same internal governance process. And Legislator says, and I'm quoting, Atlas 2.5.4 requires AVCs to follow a standardized internal governance process for AVC decisions. We believe the key phrase here is standardized, whose definition is to bring into conformity with a standard, especially in order to assure consistency and regularity. That is the interpretation that they are addressing here. And according to this, something else that LV mentioned is that the plain language appears to require all AVCs to follow the same governance process in order to remain in active status. And so here we are putting the Atlas and the component 2.5.4.1. AVC members vote on AVC decisions based on their relative ownership of verified MKR. A vote takes 1 week and resolves with the acceptance or rejection based on the amount of verified MKR that votes for each option. unless a simple majority is reached, in which in case that decision is accepted or rejected instantly. That's why, and this Paul pointed out as well, because now that it is, yes, it is necessary to have a internal governance process, and this would be sovereign finance AVC internal governance process. Of course, we are following the atlas, and a lot of this comes from. We're going to see that it's very related to it, because it's governed by its atlas 2.5.4 for decision making. What we are going to include in our internal governance process, it's typically decisions are posted on the forum on Monday. Posting the day may vary. This is just an example. It's not that it's going to be Monday, because we have a document that we're going to make it public, so you can have feedback on. You can write feedbacks on it. All AVC members have 1 week to vote on the forum. Voting involves indicated support or rejection of the decision. Cryptographically signing the vote, which includes text of the decision or ASHA 256 hash of the text. The vote, if it's approving or rejecting. A timestamp indicating the moment of the vote. Voting weight is based on the verified MQR each AVC member holds. And if an AVC member does not vote within the week, their MQR won't be counted. This is what we are including for this part. And again, we find it important to have an internal governance process. This is so far we're have worked on. In the future, of course, we might add or probably modify this, but we agree with the fact that there is a necessity in having AVCs, internal governance process. If there is something that we should add in here, well, we're going to read your feedbacks and to add it. Now let me go to the chat. Okay, there's just in case, Blue has provided an example on the chat, so I recommend you all to take a look at it. There are a lot of people that are also mentioning about the chat box, and we are going to, if there is anything that all the people that have been asking questions we have, and if there is something important, please write it also on the forum for feedback and for improvement. There is some comments there. Clocky says, I believe, although I'm not entirely certain, that the Genesis template should also encompass the Atlas-like document for the sub-DAOs. Okay. You have like that specific link, Clocky, if you could provide us, that would be really helpful. And then PBS, do you think there should be something like an Atlas for sub-DAOs template? Okay. Okay, I'm kind of like reading. As Marianne says, in the coming days, we will share in the forum the Sovereign Finance AVC internal governance processes document. Is going to be public for everyone to give us feedback and so we can improve this internal process. Now, I'm going to share like kind of like the latest news in the forum that are relevant or that could help us with the this scope. This is thank you, Clucky, for pointing out this. These are the latest news in the forum. Let's start with Stable App. They declared itself as an ecosystem actor with a primary focus on providing governance services to DAOs. Then we have the post from Teco Services, which are also ecosystem actors introduced. They introduce themselves and share a roadmap outlining its planned initiatives and projects. Um, in the latest weeks, Dewis and Sidestream have shared their August updates, emphasizing their activities in spell crafting and reviewing. DAOs expanded its team with more developers for this role. In September, DAOs continued its focus on spell crafting and reviewing, onboarded new team members, and created explainers for specific contracts. Something that we want to point out is that there has been an improvement when it comes to reporting, uh, be a little bit more transparent. There's something that we believe that we still need to work on this. But from the past to now, there has been an improvement. And then, of course, about the SubDAO, the Spark SubDAO, put forth a proposal to activate a Gnosis chain instance of Sparkland, which passed in an executive vote. Additionally, SecondSync proposed including a Sparkland instance on SecondSync. Block Analytica suggested risk parameters for Sparkland instance on Polygon CKEVM. We believe that Block Analytica's reports are really well done and the ones that report the most. And I think we should follow the lead and follow their path. So there's something that we want to mention there. There is something else a topic that you believe that it's necessary to point out that we haven't mentioned through the meeting. Please let us know. This is important. We and about the Phonics Labs as a contributor to the incubating Spark SubDAO, share Spark multi-chain strategy V2 in preparation for the new stable token rebrand. They also propose adding USDC and USDT markets to Sparkland, which received approval through a vote. There has been, of course, about the that asking more feedback on this chat box that has in just a few days ago they have posted in the forum. Also encourage everyone to give their feedback to them. Uh, okay, let me go back to the chat again. Okay, Skoki says, I don't have specific reference or link at the moment. However, I recall either reading it about it or hearing about it in a meeting. Okay. Oh, good. Name says Atlas 2.5.4 is something you're proposing. The discussion here is confusing as it seems to suggest there is a requirement for AVCs to post and internal process documents. We do not think this is the case. Interesting. That's how we understand this. That's why I think needs to be discussed about this. Focusing on LB's comment, they said that every AVC should follow the same internal governance process. I'd like to know more about this true name. And then Publica says Tech 10.2 legal risk management in the support scope. You find it. Thank you. Says Atlas 2.54 to remain active, and ABC must follow it. Yeah, we have put it also this in here. I'm going to read it. To remain active, an ABC must follow a standardized internal governance process for determining membership, creation of aligned governance strategy, aligned scope proposals, and other discussion. Maybe this is why it's important asking for interpretation of this. There is no requirement for writing about this internal process. Okay, we'd like to know insights also. Is it here? Okay, no, we should put it into discussion then, this part. This is the perfect way, I think. We agree that the language is referring to the process already described. Okay. So no internal process like reading. It's not necessary. It's good to know insights about this. Because it was like a template to, well, actually no, it's not a template. It's our uh governance process. Now that discussing this and the fact that it is no, there's starting to have it written, is a good point there. Is there any other topic that you would like to address in here? If not, please, a reminder that all of we have mentioned in here, we are going to provide the links to the public documents so you can give us feedback onto this. We have mentioned this template for the Genesis templates for FacilitatorDAO, AllocationDAO, and MiniDAOs. It's going to be public as well as everything that we have mentioned here. And once again, thank you so much to our ADs to have for addressing these issues that are in the scope. And if there is anything else, any other topic to mention in here, I'm going to put it here. Don't forget to that if you're an ACAR holder, you can delegate to one of our ADs. And if you appreciate our work and share our values, we invite you to consider become an aligned delegate of Sovereign Finance AVC. Thank you for not only being here, but also participating, being active, giving feedback, asking questions. That is very important for us because that's how we improve. And we need more perspective. It's important. Thank you so much. That will be all for today. If there is any other issue that you find important addressing in this scope, please put it in the chat. We can address it to the next support scope subcommittee meeting. That will be all. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for your time and attention. Thank you for Bonapolica for comments, asking questions, Clocky. I'm reading, of course, to Blue, to Palk. Thank you for your work. Bye bye, everyone. See you next week.